Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to Division 1 here in Divine iRacing. We've got round 5 tonight at the Singapore Grand Prix. Welcome back everyone. Looking forward to tonight's race. Should be a very good one. A tricky street circuit that we've got going ahead tonight. So welcome to the Marina Bay Street Circuits for the Singapore Grand Prix. As night falls over, it's a vibrant city-state, so the lights will be coming on to transform this track into one of the most breathtaking spectacles on the F1 calendar. Singapore Grand Prix is actually F1's original night race, the first one, and it's known for being one of the most physically and mentally demanding events of the season. There's 23 turns over the course of a 5-kilometer lap, so this track is testing every inch of a driver's skill and stamina. Of course, it looks like we've got a bit of rain tonight, which is interesting. I'm not sure what the weather is saying for the main race, but of course that could have a factor. And as we've got a couple of drivers making their way early onto the track, looks like we got Cutthroat. Yes, Cutthroat, always the first driver out on track as usual. So good to see him back once again, and hopefully he's able to put together a bit of a better strategy to the one that he had last race, where he didn't end up pitting until the last lap, or second last lap I believe. But we do have some tricky conditions. I'm not sure, I mean it must be getting worse as the session goes on, and I'd imagine that the drivers will be wanting to set some laps pretty early on in the session, as we see a big slide there for Cutthroat. But in terms of the championship for the constructors, we have the Racing Bulls of the Steps and Duke, who I believe has actually left the league. So Racing Bulls, have we got someone in? Nope, so we do not have anyone replacing Duke. I'm not sure why Duke left the league. I mean, he didn't have the best of races last week, but I believe that was due to his own doing. But unfortunate for Duke. I mean, the Racing Bulls hopefully will be able to secure that position going forward in order to get someone to support the Steps through this championship fight, as they're currently leading the standings. And obviously it's better to have two drivers, you know, instead of having just one trying to carry the points. But Racing Bulls are on 157 points, followed by 156 points, followed by Williams, with Kaka, who is our current championship leader in the Williams, in P2 with 144 points. Closely followed by Ferrari with 114 points, and then Mercedes 5 points behind with 109. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, we are looking at Kaka for the Williams team in P1 at the moment with 116 points, followed by the Steps with 105, and then Yuri, who is closely following with with 89 points. Paddy in P4 with 82. Bit of a gap to Tonga, who showed a pretty good recovery drive last week. In P5 he's got 61 points. As we're seeing Cutthroat really trying to wrestle the car through this lap, and looks like the track is definitely getting worse and worse. So I'm wondering if this rain's going to lighten up towards the end of the session. A lot of drivers still in the pits, so choosing to maybe perhaps set their times towards the end of the session, which indicates that perhaps the track is going to be getting better towards the end. As we're coming up to the end of the lap for Cutthroat, and let's see what kind of a time he's able to put on the board for the first lap of this short qualifying session here tonight in Singapore. And it's a 141.8, and we got Yuri coming across the line. Yuri, this is one of his favorite tracks, and he absolutely demolishes that time by nearly 3 seconds. So I think tonight our drivers are going to have a hard time catching up to Yuri, staying close to him. I think that P1 is pretty much secured. But of course, still plenty to play for. We'll yet to see. As we've seen Lando Norris in the real life Singapore Grand Prix have a huge lead and then nearly bin it a couple times. So let's see if Yuri's able to, you know, stay out of track limits trouble, and you never know. Hopefully stay out of having some damage as well. Of course, the walls are very close on this street track. Oh, as we see the steps, setting a 138.8, so not bad at all from the steps. Solid lap time. I believe that was just one lap, where it seems to be Yuri is going for a couple of consecutive times, maybe putting in a little bit more fuel, get the rhythm going, get the flow going for the track, and slowly improve as the session goes on. We see a couple of late joiners. Of course, we did have an update today for the F1 game, which apparently has taken away some of the smoke that was, you know, under braking, and it was very distracting for sure for some drivers. I mean, definitely as a commentator, it was hard to kind of pick through the smoke, and of course when you're driving the car in front of you locks up, as we see Yuri now improving by 0.6, so definitely had enough fuel in the car for a couple of laps and perhaps maybe even another one as well. So P1 provisional pole being held down by Yuri at this moment in time, followed by the steps, Cutthroat in P3. Never mind, Kaka in P3. Of course he's going to be wanting to improve on that time. And it looks like he will be... So he's about 0.8 behind the steps, and of course when you're in a championship fight, it's all about consistency. You don't necessarily have to win every single race. A couple of wins will never hurt, but as long as you're consistently within that top 3, not getting in any incidents, that is what matters in a championship fight. And I believe we're still seeing Yuri go for another run here, so gonna be interesting to see how much he's up on his current time, if at all. A big slide from, I think that was Cutler in the background there. And Yuri's up by 0.6 on this lap, so definitely massive improvement so far. And as I mentioned earlier, I think it's going to be a tough job for anyone to kind of stick with him really on this track. This is one of Yuri's favorites, and his time trial speaks for itself. Coming across the line now, fastest lap by nearly by more than a second actually, 1.6, 1.7 seconds. So yeah, as I mentioned, incredibly hard for anyone, I think, to catch up to that time there. Plenty of drivers still in the pits as we see Ziad. I believe Ziad our Division 2 driver last season, was just reserving for the moment. I'm not sure, I can't remember if he was our championship winner. As we're seeing Paddy now come out on the softs. I mean, the rain has stopped, that is very clear, but will the track have the grip for the soft tires at the moment? On board with Cutthroat, trying to get the best of these kind of inter conditions. Not quite inters, of course, but I mean, it must still be, because the track is definitely going to be still a little bit slippery. Of course, though, with this track, it needs 1.3 seconds, so definitely some nice improvement there from Cutthroat. Whilst there's no rain on the track at the moment, of course, it's still going to be slightly slippery out there, but at the end of the session, we're definitely going to be having complete soft runs. Cutthroat going P3, so able to make a big improvement. Go on board with Shermanator now, through the last couple of corners and his one and only inter-run. P2 from the Shermanator, so solid lap there. We'll go on board with Oloa Ritchie, who of course had a very solid recovery drive in the main race last week. P15, so I think it was P5 in the end or something like that. So looking forward to see what he could do on a tricky track. Hopefully avoid any incidents and we get some pure racing, as DRS has just been enabled. Perhaps a little bit too late, so that's a big indication that the track is at a stage where the soft tires are the preferred tires now. As we see Oloa Ritchie slotting in behind his teammate of Cutthroat in a P6 position. And we're seeing the steps out on some medium tires that you'd like to do. Still 5 drivers yet to set a time at the moment, so waiting for the conditions to ramp up a little bit, and we see Yuri absolutely demolishing his previous time, and look at that gap, 3 seconds more or less to Shermanator in P2, and still on those intermediate tires, those worn intermediate tires, which at this stage, over the course of this lap, will be overheating massively due to there not being any standing water on the track. But we'll go on board with Kaka's first flying lap of the session on the soft tires. Let's see how much the track is going to be ramping up. And of course, in a session like this, where it's wet to dry, you really do want to try and be that last driver across the line in order to get the best of the track conditions. See him flick it into hot lap. Oh, he's gone straight to overtake mode. Back into hot lap now. Not cutting that corner a huge amount, keeping a little, it was a little bit too wide there in that corner, so we'll be losing a bunch of time, but nonetheless, it's about building up that confidence. He'll get one more lap towards the end of the session, but as long as he's in that top 3, top 4, we've got every chance of a podium. And he's gone purple in sector 1. Of course, being the first driver on the soft tires, he's eclipsed the wall a little bit there, so not quite having the grip that he was expecting early on in the session. And let's see how much he takes this corner here. Quite safe through there. A wider berth, that's some good rotation into that corner. Good apex speed. Not using much or any of the overtake mode on the exit of that corner. He's able to keep it within track limits. Yeah, a little bit of a wobble on the exit. Looks like Kaka has pretty much timed this perfectly to get back around once again, strap on a new set of boots, and then go out once again. So track is already ramping up a huge amount. So we're in the 132 at the moment. I mean, the track conditions for a proper qualifying time, I believe it's in the 28s. So still plenty of grip yet to be kind of laid down, plenty of rubber to be laid down between now and the end of the session. As we'll go on board with go on board with Tranquiloson and Paddy now going top of the timesheets with a 31.7. The track is definitely ramping up massively, and I think Kaka could be in a fantastic position here, really, in order to get rounds, get back in, get back out real quick. But it's going to be tight for him. He's going to perhaps push a little bit on his outlap, but on board with Tranquiloson. Could be running into some traffic here at the end of Sector 2, but, or Sector 3 I should say. But hopefully they're able to stay out of his way. He invalidated and crashed. GG. Oh dear. I think you got plenty of time to come back, get back around, Tonga. Fix your wing. One more lap to go. There's a little bit of a weaving there from the Merc, preparing his tires for the lap and not distracting Tranquiloson too much. Waza with a 1:31.3, very solid time from him, and Tranquiloson absolutely demolishes that with a 30.6. So this is exciting times now. We're going to be seeing a real battle for the last driver across the line, really. Ziad with a solid lap so far, I believe. That looks like a really good kind of chicane through there. I believe Ziad is our Division 2 winner from last season. I know he's racing in, or he was racing in PSGL or WR Tier 8 or something like that. So he is a quick driver. It'll be interesting to see how he competes with the Division 1 drivers. I know he was offered a spot in Division 1 for the season, but ultimately, when you've got 3 or 4 leagues on, it's hard to commit to something more as well. So I believe that was a purple Sector 2 for him, and as he comes across the line, what kind of a time it is? It's a 28.5. Fantastic lap from Ziad there. And we've got Yuri on an out lap. He is the man that can absolutely demolish that time, but he's going to be under pressure. He's going to be under pressure. Plenty of drivers on an out lap at the moment. I think every single driver is on an out lap, so everyone has timed it absolutely perfectly to get out. Hopefully the traffic is not going to be an issue. No one playing any games. As we see Divine Eye going P2, so a fantastic lap from him there. And we see Shermader starting his lap now. Seems like some good rotation through the first couple of corners. A little bit of a wobble there on the exit. Olorichi going P2 with a 28.6. Oh, this is going to be exciting, guys. Sherman takes the curve very nicely through that section. Oh, bit of a lock-up. Unfortunately, would have lost a couple of tenths for that, for sure. And let's see if he's able. There's a Merc in front of him as well. Hopefully that's not going to put him off a huge amount. Definitely going slow, that Merc. So I think that is the car of, I want to say that's Jazz. Yellow flags in Sector 2. We do have a Haas who has gone off, and don't want to flick away from that at the moment. It looks like that was Olorichi getting out the way, but we're on board still with Shermanator. As Merc gets out of the way very nicely. There is a Ferrari in front of him. Yuri, I believe that is, who is the last person to come across the line. Oh, never mind. Yuri, or that Ferrari is coming into the bits. I believe that is Divine Eye. Solid lap so far from Shermanator, and that goes P2. Oh no. Olorichi has been disqualified from the session for being stopped way too long in an area that he shouldn't be. And the steps goes P1 with 27.5. We'll go on board with Yuri now. Paddy P2 with a 28.0. Yuri coming across the line now. What's it going to be? Is it going to be P1? It is P1, 26.5. 1.2 seconds to the next driver. The steps. That is an absolutely fantastic lap. And we're going to be on board with Jan now. Jan's only lap of the session. What is he able to do? Cutthroat going P3 there. It's an incredible lap from Cutthroat. Jan puts himself P6. Solid lap indeed. And I'm not sure this is actually a hot lap for Tonga. Maybe perhaps he... No, it looks like he invalidated on his previous lap, so going to be starting P16, unfortunately. And I want to check the Discord to see what happened with Olorichi. That is so unfortunate for him. I'm not sure where he was. I think he was top 6 or so. I invalidated. It was a P3 time. Oh, that is rough, Tonga. Unlucky. Unlucky. Hello, hello, Roy Hendrickson. Blue here. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the stream. So there you have it. 1.1 second gap from Yuri to the rest of the grids, and for a track I think it is 36 laps or so. We could be seeing a winning margin here of over 30 seconds. So the fight for the podium positions is definitely... Oh, Blue Dark. Hey, welcome, man. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. But yeah, we've got Olorichi, who's got a big, hefty decision, or not decision, but a hefty race on his hands to get through traffic if he can. Looks like a dry race, which is always nice. Perhaps we could have some weather towards the end. And as we've got drivers already in the chat congratulating Yuri's on the win. Still lots to play for. Need some wing damage lap 1 for Yuri. I mean, of course, I'm never going to wish bad on any of our drivers. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what kind of a race we have on our hands for the fight for the podium positions, and hopefully some good action ahead. Now, strategy-wise, we are... Oh, someone pressed ready. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that everyone's ready for that. But strategy-wise, we're looking like a medium to hard as the optimal strategy. However, we have seen some drivers here choose to go different. I mean, it's a couple drivers on soft. We've got Mihu and Jazz on the soft tires. Perhaps gambling on a early safety car, as safety cars are a common occurrence around this track. Of course, we've got so many walls very close by. It would not be surprising to see a couple of safety cars tonight. A big congratulations to Cutthroat for a P3 start. I know he's hopefully going to be wanting some support from Olorichi at the back, who is unfortunately been disqualified for parking in an unsafe position. But these two drivers at the back, Tonga and Olorichi, are hopefully going to have to work together to navigate all the traffic. Two drivers who are considered, I'd say, top 6, top 7 in this league. And when you got some of the slower drivers toward the back, of course, you've got to try and navigate the traffic as efficiently as possible in order to maximize your race time. Are we going to see anyone challenge Yuri into turn 1? I mean, the steps is on the hard tires, so not going to be the optimal tire for getaway, of course. So could we see Cutthroat challenging the steps? Let's go, Roy. Let's go, Blue Dark. As we're coming up to Ulorichi at the back. Can we get that last couple of weaves? Get his tires up to a suitable temperature. And turn 1 is always an interesting one here. We'll go on board with the steps. We'll go on board with Cutthroat. See what kind of a getaway he's able to get. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are go, go, go. That was a fantastic getaway from Paddy now. Already on the side of Cutthroat, as Cutthroat holds it around the outside, breaks early, Paddy does, and Shermanator and Jan, I think it was, not quite Jan, it was Kaka who nearly made up the position there, but Shermanator into P4, and he's got Paddy all over the back of him. Yuri, the gap between Yuri and the steps is already up to nearly a second as we see Cutthroat and the steps going side by side. Just left him a car's width there as Cutthroat, and the steps is able to get back through. Can we see a little bit of a switch back from Cutthroat? No, we cannot, as we see Shermanator and Paddy side by side. A little bit of contact there, but all in good faith. Really going to be wanting to work together here, guys, in order to try and get to the back of Cutthroat and the steps, not fight too much. Of course, you want to be staying within DRS. We've seen Ulorichi already up into 15th place. Tonga already up into 10th place as well, so a fantastic start from him. And we see Alavriadis making a position on Divine Eye. And the gap from Yuri to the steps is already at 2.6 seconds. It's not even been the first lap yet. Cutthroat's really going to want to try and get past the steps as quickly as possible. He does have more ERS to his name, and of course with DRS being activated now on lap 2, we've got the first ERS detection point coming up after the exit of these sequence of corners right here. So the first dose of DRS just being activated here. Cutthroat not opting to use any ERS, but he has got it enabled into hot lap mode. Steps going defensive and then opting not to, but we're seeing Tonga going side by side with Ziad. Fantastic overtake around the outside. And Ziad has lost a couple of positions here, so perhaps a little bit of rustiness. I'm not sure if he's been doing a huge amount of league racing recently. But a fantastic start for Tonga, who's up 8 positions already. Biggest loser, unfortunately, of this race so far has been Mihu, who's down 3. Tonga is on the back of Jan now, who's defending, but not a huge amount. As under braking, Tonga was able to close up quite a huge amount there. Not aiming to fight this one too hard, and the gap is already up to 4 seconds between Yuri and the steps. And we see the Shermanator, who's lost it, unfortunately, and that is not ideal. So he's lost his front wing, and that is going to be race not done, but it's going to be a hard recovery unless there's a safety car now for Shermanator. Unfortunately for him, he gets a 10-second time penalties for his woes. And is that going to be retirement? Doesn't look like it. Paddy looks happy to stay in this train at the moment. And we see Tonga up into P6. So a fantastic drive from him so far. Yellow flags and Paddy's retired at the session. Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car. Paddy, stricken car on the left-hand side. I'm not sure if that was side by side with him driver, but I think he was pretty much happy to kind of tuck in, and that is unfortunate for Paddy to be out of the race so early on. Of course, as I mentioned before before the race started, tricky circuit, one that of course we expect a few safety cars. And unfortunately, Paddy is our first victim tonight in Divine Eye Racing, round 5 here in Singapore. Of course, now this virtual safety car will allow drivers to... Oh, and we saw a couple of drive-through penalties there. I think that was. So Shermanator, his race goes from bad to worse with a drive-through now, and Alevriadis also picking up a drive-through as well. So not sure what those two drivers are doing, but you've got to stay within your delta, guys. Cutthroat kind of closing up to the back of the steps now. Is on those medium tires, so should be able to get a nice undercut around lap 14-15. That is the ideal pit time from the medium to hard. Hard to medium, you want to be pitting, I think, lap 20 or so. That is the ideal lap. But ooh, as we see Cutthroat going over that curve there, and that is something you do not want to do. The car bottoms out and throws you wide. But we see Olor Ritchie now making a position on Divine Eye Racing, or Divine Eye, sorry, owner of the league, of course. And got on board with Tonga, who's closing up to the back of Kaka. What a fantastic start from him so far. P16 all the way up to P5 at the end of lap 4. Is he going to get a dose of DRS? Yes, he is indeed. Kaka, I don't believe, received any DRS from the car in front, so he's got a little bit of work to do in order to not be under threat from Tonga behind. He's actually now dropped out of the DRS, and Kaka is on those hard tires. A little bit of a lock up there. Is that going to allow Tonga? Didn't have the best couple of sequence of corners there. Oh, as we see, oh, I'm not sure if that was a little glitch there. Yeah, it seemed like a little bit of a game lag. But the steps trying to do his best in order to defend from Kaka. We see Olor Ritchie now making a move on Mihu. He's on those soft tires, so sticking into non-ERS mode. He's going to be trying to cling on to the back of Olor Ritchie, hopefully allow him to drag him along. And as we see Jan going, getting overtaken by Ziad. And we see the Mercs, the McLarens going side by side. A little bit of contact there, and I believe that would be some wing damage. Yes, he has lost his front left end plate, so Tranquiloson, not an ideal scenario there. Fighting your teammate and then picking up some damage as a result of it. That is not what you want to be doing, boys. And look at that understeer that he's receiving right now. Losing a huge amount of time to Waza, and I believe this will be a fairly straightforward move for Olor Ritchie. And we see Shermader, who's crashed on the exit of the pits, and he's going to be getting lapped very, very shortly indeed. Tonga, who's made a move now past Kaka, so he is on an absolute tear in this one, and we see Shermader, I'm not sure what he's doing, another 10-second penalty to his name, so he's driving in absolute anger, and that's not what you want to be doing. And we see Alevriadis coming into the pits to change his front wing, and Shermader has picked up another time warning, and it looks like he's going to cause a safety car. I think he's going to cause a safety car because he's missing an end plate once again. And this is not what you want to have on track. Absolutely not what you want to have on track. And he's completely taken that one as well. So another 10-second time penalty. What is he doing? So penalties. He's on 33 seconds, so yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on in his head. But anyways, back to the proper racing. What is going on? This is retirement in the pits. Another 10 seconds. Yep. Just retire. Yep. Get out of it. Get out of the race, bro. That is not what you want to see. Back on board with proper racing. Jan clinging onto the back of Ziad. He's about 1.5 seconds back from Kaka on the hard tires. And the mediums will still be the better tire, just about. I mean, the crossover should be anytime soon. And look at this tire smoke. They've made the game so much worse. I think he's drunk. Yeah, no comment on that one. Not sure what he was doing there. But look at this tire smoke that you're seeing now. I think they've made the game absolutely worse. As we see Divine I, who's unfortunately had a moment through here as well, through Sector 1. And has he got any damage? I do not know. Yes, he does indeed. So another front wing to be replaced. Is anyone keeping count of front wings to be replaced? Because I think we're at a pretty high number at the moment. Cutthroat doing a very nice job. Holding onto the back of the steps now. And the moment he drops off out of DRS from the steps, he's going to be wanting to pit. Try and get that undercut done. Yeah, I lost count as well of the front wings being replaced as well. And we see our first, well, I don't want to say first because we saw plenty of time penalties being handed out for Shermanator. But our first other driver to pick up a time penalty, and that is Waza with the first 3-second time penalty. We're on board with Olo Orichi now. He's going to try and make a move in turn 1. Nope, he is lifting and coasting. Will close up very quickly to the back of Waza there. And he's going to want to make this move. I mean, he's recharging ERS, perhaps try and get this move done. Oh, closing up really hard on the back end. I believe that was from front wing damage. Yep, I did see some bit of front wing come off the end there, and he's into P8 now. Gets back onto the racing line, but he's going to be having a huge amount of oversteer. And can we see Tranquiloson look up for a move as well? Nope, not quite. Yeah, he's got chronic understeer at the moment. Tonga onto the back of Kaka now, who is defending with the use of ERS. Tonga has got much more ERS, so almost double the amount of ERS that Kaka has, so it's really got to kind of bide his time with this overtake, to be honest with you. I mean, if you can get dragged along by Kaka, undercut, lap 14, lap 15, onto those hard tires, that is the ideal scenario for Tonga. But as we've got now, Ziad, this train of cars, closing up again, so from P4 to P7, we've got a nice little train, nice little battle going on here. And look at that camera shot there. That helicopter view is absolutely lovely. Ziad seems to have found his pace now. Has enabled overtake. So has Tonga, who's actually flashing now. Is going to want to recharge as much battery as possible. We've got Cutler still doing a good job. So within 6/10 of the steps, and of course Kaka being on the slower tire at the moment. Yeah, it's going to be he's going to have a lot of work to do towards the end of the race. Will be interesting to see if he's able to catch up. But I know definitely these medium hard runners are in prime position for a good race finish. So Yuri, the gaps between Yuri and the steps kind of stabilized at 7 seconds now, which is still a sizable lead, of course. And this train of cars are looking to work together at the moment and fight it out for that P4 finish, really. The hard tires would definitely be the better tire at the moment, so they're all kind of clinging on at the moment within the DRS. As we see Tonga, who's actually got the ERS on and the hot lap mode on to try and make a move, but I don't believe that is the wisest of decisions. It's going to be wanting to charge up as much as possible for when he pits onto the hard tire and make use of the undercut. A little bit of ERS out of the corners in order to maximize the effect of the undercut around here. As we see Waza and Sparrow having a little bit of a battle, and Waza was given the position back by Sparrow, who went for the overtake attempt. So nice to see some good racing etiquette between these two. Hard but fair racing, and when it is too hard, you give back position. That's what we love to see. Jan trying to go for the lead on Ziad. Seems to stick behind for now. Tonga, if you're listening, recharge your ERS, repeat lap 14, 15, and you're in the money. A little bit of a wobble there from Ziad on the braking, sorry, Tonga on the braking. And he's just kept within DRS, yes he has. Ziad is challenging him, so Tonga does have to use some ERS to defend. And we see another 3-second time penalty for Waza, unfortunately. So that is 6 seconds now. And on to lap 11 of the Grand Prix. Just over a third of the way through, and I'd imagine that we're definitely going to be seeing another safety car at some point. This pack of cars is where the action is at, and Cutler is now actually dropped out of ERS or DRS, and as we see a Red Bull of Sparrow seems to have gone into the wall there. And does he have some damage? I'm not too sure. I can't really tell from these pictures. No, it looks, front wing looks intact. So perhaps just a little bit of a battle. So Mihu now picking up a time penalty. Unfortunate there, but when you're fighting towards the back, I guess it doesn't matter a huge amount. It's only when the pack closes up, of course, that's when the time penalties really do matter the most. If you're in this pack now, Tonga, Ziad, and Jan, you really want to think about when to pit, because I think if they pit now, or if they pit in the next couple of laps, they'll come out behind Sparrow in P10. And of course, free air is king, as Oscar Piastri very cleverly said. Free air is absolutely king, especially on a track where you've got so many tight braking zones, so many walls across. You don't want to be kind of thrown off by the car in front of you. And the undercut in the F1 game, as we always know, is extremely powerful. So if I'm Jan and P7 at the moment, I'm thinking about pitting lap 13 onto the hard tires, going to the end, not even trying to overtake on track like he's attempting to at the moment. It looks like a little burst of ERS, but he's pushing Ziad along, who's now Ziad's actually lost DRS. No, never mind. He was using a little bit to try and get back in. But Jan seems to be much better on the braking, and Ziad is taking the option to undercut. He's completely. Oh no, Jan has received the DRS, but can have a lot of work to kind of close up to the back of Tonga now. Seems to have done it nicely, but I think that was the DRS defection point right there, and he's not going to have the DRS on this straight. So if I'm Jan, I am pitting at the end of this lap. And Ziad comes out just behind his teammate Waza, who should hopefully not fight this once he gets up to the back of him. But let's see how quickly this gap closes. Of course, he's on 0 lap olds, fresh hard tires. Waza on 12 lap olds, mediums. Of course, you're gonna have to do a lap or so to get them back up to temperature, and we see yellow flags in sector 1. That is Mihu, I believe, who's, yep, he's lost his front wing. And let's add another front wing to the, tally counter, and Divine, let's add another one as well. That was a good action shot. Apologies to laugh on your behalf, Divine, but that was quite an epic action shot, and another front wing change required. So Kaka and Cutthroat is coming to the pits, and it's a 10-second time penalty. Come on. Not what you want when you're having such a good race. Oh, Cutthroat. That's unfortunate. Is he going to have to serve it now? I'd imagine not. Nope, that's unfortunate. So we'll go on board with 6 wings now. Thank you for keeping tally, Roy, Blue Dark. As we see Tonga hitting the curb and going side by side, a little bit of contact. Jan attempting the switchback, but Tonga absolutely running him out of the room there. So they're fighting on the back of these cars now, and they've allowed the steps to get away, which is obviously not ideal. And these two cars really do want to pit at the end of this lap. As we see another yellow flag, and that is a front wing completely gone from Divine Eye. It's a miracle that that was not a safety car, to be honest with you. And he got lapped by his teammate Yuri, which is never a nice feeling. But of course, in a team championship, the way that teams are done this season, there is one driver that is stronger than the other, which adds a very nice team dynamic, to be honest with you, and a lot more. As we see Jan completely going off the track in order to get that done, and we see Tonga coming to the pits, and he's picked up a time penalty on the entrance of the pits, so not ideal. And let's see where Ziad's going to come out. Is he going to come out in front of Tonga? Because he was in the battle for those positions. It's a very nice last corner there from Ziad, and I think he is going to get past Tonga. Yes, he is, by quite a sizable margin. So that just shows you power of Yemika, and we see Alavriadas picking up 10 seconds for speeding into the pit. So lots of drivers picking up penalties now, as we see 10 seconds for Cutthroat, 6 seconds for Waza, 3 for Tonga, 10 for Alavriadas, and 3 for Mihu. Sparrow on the back of Waza now. These two have been having some really good battles all race long, going side by side once again. Gets driven off the track, unfortunately, and Tonga is now caught up to the back of them. A little bit of a switchback attempt, and hopefully his teammate, yes, he does not let him, he does not fight that one. Very well done indeed, and it's going to be a move from Tonga as well. Outbreaks him and gets that move done nicely as well. So Waza on the 14 lap old mediums, just not able to compete with Tonga's fresh hard tires. You see Jan and Kaka coming in to the pits now. Kaka's going to have to go a long way on those medium tires, 16 laps or so. He's going to be really suffering towards the end, so interesting to see if Jan's able to hold on to the back of him. He will have an advantage come the end of the race. Olar Ritchie moving up into P3 as he hasn't pitted yet. Still has that front wing damage, as you can see from that front left end plate. So perhaps he's waiting it out for a safety car. This is not a bad idea at all for Oloarichi. And as we see, the Haas boys, of course, P3, P4. That can all change though, of course, as Oloarichi still does need to pit. As we see Waza in the pits for his pit stop, going to the hard tires. Top 3 yet to pit. Yuri, I'd imagine, is waiting it out to not come out in traffic, but I think even if he pits now, he'll come out in P2 because he's got that much of a sizable gap to the rest of the field, and he is just cruising at this moment in time. Nice move there done from Kaka, does it nicely. Trying to close up to the back of Cutler now. 2.4 second gap. Locking up under the braking there, but Ziad holding him very nicely. And if he's able to, again, if he's able to hang on to the back of Kaka, I believe his tires will be in better shape come the end of the race. So that P5 position, or even, oh, never mind, he gets a time penalty for his woes. We always knew this is a tricky track. Cutthroat closing in quite rapidly to the back of Oloarichi. And he goes wide as well because of that curb. Cutthroat clips the wall a little bit there. He's not quite secured the DRS as of yet, but if Cutthroat can get past Oloarichi and Oloarichi to hold up Kaka and the cars behind a little bit, that would be some fantastic team play. Oh, as we see Sparrow retiring from the session, and that's going to be a safety car. Yep, I knew it. And that is absolutely perfect timing for Yuri and the steps, and Oloarichi as well. So Oloarichi could be in a net P3, and Cutler coming in as well. Kaka coming in, Jan coming in. So Oloarichi has gone from last to P3 just by pitting at or staying out on track and allowing himself to be in a position. Ooh, Tonga's opted to stay out, and he's not going to be coming out in the lead of the race, and Tranquiloson picks up another time penalty. Sparrow's left the session. Unlucky Sparrow. Of course, what this has allowed is the steps to actually close back up to Yuri. Yuri was off into the distance by about 7 seconds, and now that has allowed him to stay within touching distance of him. And let's see if Oloarichi was able to repair his wing. That is going to be a big question. It looks like he has. So he's repaired his wing, changed his tires, done his mandatory pit stop, and come out in a net P4. So absolutely solid result from Oloarichi there. And let's see if he's able to keep consistent between now and the end of the race, because that's all he needs to do. But unfortunate for Cutthroat. I mean, Cutthroat was in a P3 position and choosing to pit again on the safety car. He's now dropped down to P11. So unfortunate for him, as Tsonga is coming into the pits, and that is not ideal. I think he was in a pretty good position. He didn't need to pit. He's opted to pit anyways for some mediums because he's seen all the other drivers around him on mediums. But I think the hards were still the better tire. They were only 3 laps old. Now he's going to come out behind Waza. Is he going to come out behind Cutthroat? Yes, he is. So, not too sure on that decision there. He was P4, sorry, P3, opposite pit, and now he's come out in P9. When you give up that much track position on a track like this, where it is difficult to overtake, that's not really what you want to be doing. I imagine we'd have another lap under the safety car. But if the safety car is going for another 2 laps, medium will be better. It's debatable. Yeah, I mean 10 laps under the safety, sorry, 10 laps from now until the end of the race, if you consider the safety car coming in on lap 21, which I think maybe lap 20 it'll come in. So 21, so 11 laps on the mediums. Yeah, I mean I think they won't be in the best of shape. Yeah, you're faster, Tonga, but it could be more. I can't see the end of that message. Where's my chat? So it could be more easy. Yeah, it could be easy, but you're also putting yourself in a bit of a risky situation, to be honest with you. You definitely got fresher tires, which is always helpful. I'd say you're definitely faster than a couple of drivers ahead, but of course, track position is always key. I will never give up track position, in my opinion, just for the case of fresher tires. It's all good, man. It's all about the learning process. So I'd imagine the safety cars would come in at the end of this lap, and if I'm Divine, yep, I was going to say, if I'm Divine, if I'm Tranquiloso, and I'm pitting for some fresher tires. Oh, Divine is actually lapped, so he needs to get round ASAP. I'm not sure if the safety car's going to wait. But Tranquiloso unable to stick on 1 lap old mediums. Won't be a huge amount fresher, of course, but fresher tires when you're at the back is always nice. I think the mediums after 10 laps are still pretty dead around this track, to be honest with you. I know you want to be pushing them to a lap around lap 14, if under normal race conditions. But still, I think the hard tire is honestly the better tire, even when the safety car came out. Of course, you got Yuri, who made that 1 pit stop. Oh, you have 10 laps to go. Yeah. No, I get it. Let's see. Waza's made 1 stop onto his hard tires. So let's see. Okay, safety car in this lap. We'll see where Waza ends up. I mean, Waza has some decent base. He's definitely, I'd say, a midfield driver. So we'll base it off where Waza ends up. We've got Cutthroat, Tonga behind, who are definitely quicker drivers. So I'd imagine Waza could finish around P9. Go on board with Yuri now, who's trying to get his hard tires up to temperature, and that is not an easy task at all. Go on board with the Steps, who is going to be wanting to challenge him on lap 1 if he can, but we know Yuri in his serious pace on this track, and let's see when he bolts. He's gone. Fantastic restart from Yuri. Tonga, you need to drive on time. Tonga's locked in now, don't worry. As we see Tonga really close to Cutthroat. Oh, not sure about that move. Cuts across very much last minute, and a bit of contact between the two drivers there. Tonga and Cutthroat going side by side. Not quite. Cutthroat backs out of that move at the moment, but back to the front of the field. We see the steps kind of holding on within 5/10 at the moment of Yuri, but that gap is going up and up more and more. We see Waza, who is not able to get his tires up to temperature. He's already lost 2 seconds to the car in front of Ziad, but that could also be on raw pace, and Tonga makes a move past Waza. I think there was some contact there, and Waza seems to be getting out of the way of everyone, and I think he's had some damage, so that might be race over for Waza, unfortunately. Can't quite catch it with that shot there, but the steps has been dropped by Yuri now, as expected. Jan happy to stay behind. Waza has now had a little bit of spin, fortunately so for him. Yuri sets the fastest lap of the race on the hard tires, 29.6. Yeah, his pace is absolutely sickening on this track. Big train of cars now from the steps all the way down to Ziad and P6 at the moment. Jan going for a move on the steps, and he's momentarily up into P2. Goes a little bit deep on the brakes, and that's allowed steps to have the inside, and they are battling really hard. Jan able to secure the position momentarily. Oh, and he brakes very, very early indeed. And I'm not too sure if there's any damage. Yep, the steps has picked up some end plate damage, so I'm not too sure what Jan was doing, but that was very, very early braking. And again, he's braked very, very early, and that's allowed Ola Ritchie to get past now. So the steps is definitely not going to be too happy about that one. And now he's going to be under attack from his championship rival, Kaka, who has 100% of the ERS, and steps is blasting through his ERS to try and hold on the position so far, but I'd imagine it's only going to be a matter of time to when he loses this position to Kaka behind him. As Yuri sets a new fastest lap of the race with a 29.4. The gap is already up to, oh, never mind, Tonga sets the fastest lap of the race with a 29.6, 29.3. Tonga at the back of this train, so P2 all the way down to P7 in a big, long train at the moment. Although Ritchie getting past, a little bit of a tap on the exit, or in the braking zone there. As Olo Ritchie has gone from last to P2. Let's see if he's able to get away from the cars behind. That will be interesting. I mean, of course, there's so many braking zones and traction zones on this track, but there are also three DRS zones, so incredibly hard to kind of navigate. Oh, three DRS zones. Yeah, I wanted to say that. Oh, as Waza has DNF'd in the pits, thankfully. So not another safety car, thankfully. And Jan is doing... Yuri's on another planet, I'd absolutely agree. And we knew that coming into this race, unfortunately. Last season, he was, I think, 20 seconds ahead of everyone else on what he considers to be one of his favorite tracks. So yeah, when you've got that kind of pace on one of your favorite track, it's always good to see. And we see Kaka making a move into turn 1 on the steps. A little bit of contact from behind as Tonga's sniffing the move. Around the outside, a little bit of contact as well, and the steps' race has gone from bad to worse, unfortunately. We've got Ziad on the inside. He's going to make a move around the outside of the steps. Goes for the switchback and Steps gives him a big squeeze. He's defending with all of his life. Oh, fakes a little move to the inside and he's lost already over a second to Tonga, the car in front. So this race, yeah, unfortunately with that contact with Jan, he's lost out massively in his championship fight. And Kaka just needs to finish ahead, of course, wants to maximize his points haul over the steps behind, and I'm sure the report will be coming in from the steps on Jan. As Jan now goes up into P2, past Ola Ritchie. As Yuri now takes back the fastest half of the race on the hard tires. Oh, and Tonga went off track there a little bit. Or it seems like it anyways. There could be some lag involved in that. As Kaka is pushing Ola Ritchie through these corners. He's keen to maximize that gap, and look at how much he closed up under braking there through that section. Tonga absolutely abusing the ERS, faking the outside, going for the inside, no, not quite. He's used all of his ERS there for no reason. So he's going to have to do some recharging between now and the end of the race and try and catapult himself, if he can, into P2. It's going to be a fight between these four drivers here. Oh, as we see Tonga making a little bit of a slide. He has lost out on the DRS from the cars in front. He's ghosted through. So the steps is going to have, I think, what should be an easy pass. Never mind, Tonga is really using the DRS to try and catch back up. You see Ziad just kind of stuck behind as well. And is Tonga done enough? A little bit of wobble on exit, I think that's not going to be enough. No, it's not. So he's going to have to do a lot of work to try and close back in if he can. So you see Kaka now really not happy with the early braking perhaps of Ola Ritchie. Tonga's done enough through that first couple of sequence of corners to be back within the DRS. Steps is doing a pretty good job at the moment of hanging on, but Ziad's got the ERS down the inside. Is this going to be a move? Stuck. Looks like it. Very nice move from Ziad on the steps there. So the steps is, yeah, not having a great time at the moment. From a P2 on the restart down to P7 because of spring damage that he's unfortunately picked up. A little bit of a tap behind from Tonga. See Kaka trying to go around the outside, a little bit of contact. Trying to go around the outside. Can he push? Oh, they're both into the wall. Ola Ritchie and Kaka into the wall. Oh no. That is not ideal. I don't think Ola Ritchie gave him enough room there. Oh dear. The steps is back into P3. The steps is back into P3. Ola Ritchie, what's he done? What has he done? 10-second time penalty for a severe collision with Kaka. Oh no, that is going to be a massive, massive steward's inquiry there. And I am afraid to say that I think, yeah, I think that's going to be a serious incident being reported. Just from the serious incident kind of message that popped up there. Oh dear. As we're going to go on, D2 is more clean. I'm not sure about that. And Ola Ritchie has retired from session. Oh dear. I hate to kind of understand what the thought process behind that incident is. Well, are we going to see Yuri coming to the pits? I'd imagine so. I mean, you've got a 10-second gap behind. You might as well stick on some softs. The kick is so stupid. The Sauber? You mean Shermanator? From earlier on in the race? Yeah, he didn't have the best best of races. But Yuri is coming into the pits. Jan is staying out. Oh, Kaka. I'm not sure that one was Kaka's fault, to be honest with you. I mean, we'd have to see the incident from both POVs, but I think Ola Ritchie should have left more room. I'm not too sure. I mean, of course, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But we should see... oh my god, the whole field is on fresh start tires, apart from Jan. Everyone apart from Jan. And he's going to get absolutely eaten up, I think, in these last 2 laps. Yeah, but Jan's tried it. I mean, I respect it. He's going to go for track position, try and fight his way from now to the end of the race, but I think pitting some soft tires was the best option. And we see the lapped car of Divine. I think that's so unfortunate that he's not able to unlap himself. But still, finishing, if he finishes the race, he'll pick up some solid points for P11. Just the 6 drivers DNFing tonight, which is definitely a number, and definitely something we would expect. Yeah, last safety car you said I would go for track position. Yeah, I mean definitely not this one. This one you need some fresh softs. But we'll see where Jan ends up. Unfortunately, Yuri has the lap car of his teammate in front of him in the safety car queue. You have floor damage. Oh dear. Oh dear. That is not ideal. No time to move. How'd you pick up that? Did you have an incident with Tonga? Tonga. So now you can fly. Red Bull gives you wings. The safety car will definitely be in at the end of this lap. So 2 laps of racing here to end the night in Divine iRacing. So unfortunately you can't see floor damage on this game. That would be a nice addition, but yeah, I'm probably asking for too much from Cody's to do. Or EA, should I say. It was the Haas that made the move bad? So you had the decision, so, okay. Tonga P1, 15 track limits. Let's check out the penalty situation. So Tonga with 3 seconds, Ziad with 3 seconds, Mihu with 3 seconds, and Divine I with 3 seconds as well. Uh-oh, what was that? Did Jan pick up damage? I saw something fly off. Did Jan pick up damage from the safety car? Yes, he did. He hit the safety car. Jan hit the safety car. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's why you want to give plenty of width between you and the safety car. So now he's got front wing end plate damage. He's got a hungry Yuri behind him. A whole pack of cars who are hungry on some fresh softs. And the safety car in this lap. So type in the chat, guys, how much do you think Yuri's gonna win by? even though it's 2 laps. So 2 laps of racing. How many seconds is Yuri going to win this race by? Yeah, he's absolutely done. He's cooked. It's just a matter of Roy says 3 seconds. Blue Dark says 3 seconds. I'm gonna say 6 seconds in 2 laps. Trying to weave to get some temperature back into the tires as we see a move into turn 1 from the steps. Absolutely sends it on Alavriadis, and Yuri's is up into the lead as they have a bit of contact. Oh dear, what is going on here? Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no, what is going on in the back? As we see the steps now into P1, Yuri having to fight. He goes defensive a little bit, not able to, breaks off the track. Oh my goodness, what is happening behind? Tonga into P3, Jan retired, Ziaz retired from the race. This is absolute mayhem. Yuri's not winning by 6 seconds now. Oh my goodness. Everything to fight for. 100% ERS, nearly for Yuri. But of course, the Steps is going to benefit from the DRS at the end of this lap if he's able to stay in that 1 second gap. Yuri's in none, so he's trying to hold on, trying to recoup his battery at the moment. Cutthroat in P3, holding on really tightly. But this race has been an absolute mess. You see Yuri trying to hold off at the moment. No DRS. There will be DRS on the last lap, so this lap coming up right now, the last lap of the race, will have DRS on it. You see Yuri trying to recharge as much battery as he can. Oh, as the Steps is trying to make a move early on. Oh, a bit of contact there. Not sure about that from Yuri. And he's going to have a couple of opportunities here. The Steps, he is down on ERS though. He's kept his hot lap and he's kept his battery on hot lap mode. Yuri defending. He's going to have plenty of space left over for the ERS. Goes around the outside. Fantastic racing between the two. Oh my goodness, this is epic racing. Lots of contacts. Steps able to kind of hold on for the moment. Yuri charging his ERS, so Steps is really not charging any ERS. Is going to have a huge deficit, and he's not going to be able to get it done, I don't believe, just on the fact that Yuri has more ERS. This is his last chance right here, pretty much. But he will take a P2, I am absolutely sure of it, after all the mayhem that he's been through. Oh my goodness, what a race that we've had here tonight. And Tonga on the back of Cutthroat as well. But as we're coming across the line, very shortly indeed, the Steps, what a recovery drive from the Steps. He's had to deal with a whole lot tonight. Let's come across the line. Yuri finishes in P1, congratulations. Steps in P2, Cutthroat securing himself a P3, Alavriadis with a P4 finish, Tonga finishing P5 at the end of the day. Nihu P6, Jazz P7, Tranquiloson and Divine Eye in P9. So only 9 drivers finishing this race. What a what a race. No, absolutely no, I did not think 6 seconds after all the mayhem that I saw. Oh my goodness, what a race. What a race, guys. Congratulations to Yuri. Look at that, Dutch flag and all. Now, he had to fight hard for that one. Definitely cinema. I'm looking forward to all the reports that I'm going to have to deal with in the chat. Oh dear, it was a fun race to watch. There was too much action. I'm sorry I couldn't get it all, guys. But thank you so much for tuning in anyways. Those are your final standings. So you got 9 drivers out of, I think it was 17 that we had at the beginning of the race. Oh dear. I think somehow Ziad and Jan have still classified apparently, so they might pick up points for that. I'm not too sure if they're actually going to hand some points out for that. The reports are going to be a challenge, absolutely. So tomorrow, Bahrain D2, I will most likely be there in the chat to support you all. Looking forward to it. Best of luck to you, Blue Dark. But there you have it. There you have it. What a race, guys. Yuri picking up the fastest lap of the race. The win. Steps P2. Able to gain some ground on Kaka in the championship. But, oh dear. What a what an eventful race. Um, Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely evening, and best of luck to the Division 2 drivers tomorrow. This has been Cerilias, your boy, and I will catch you next week.